Oh my god, look at this fucking hole in my shirt. I can't wear this shit. Oh my god. Anyways, gonna fuck up my sleep schedule with this, but I gotta make this review because I can look back on these one day and think, oh yeah, I did see that movie. Oh my god, holy shit. Let me try and close that up. Yeah, that's the best you're gonna fucking get. Anyways, so I saw Beetlejuice. So, let's talk about it really quick. So, my thoughts on the first Beetlejuice, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had never seen it, so I watched it for the first time like 4 months ago. And, I really liked it. I thought it was really fun and creative, and the visuals were nice, and Michael Keaton was great. And, it's funny. I changed my shirt because I don't want you guys to have to look at my chest hair for like 10 minutes. That's disgusting. Anyways, about the first Beetlejuice, I thought it was funny because people said that Beetlejuice isn't in that movie that much, and he's not, but it's so. But that movie's so fun and creative that you can't help but just not notice when he's not around, because there's always something going on in that movie. And I really like it. I really enjoy that movie. It's not perfect, but I love it a lot. I even watched it again after watching this new one just to confirm to myself, like, oh yeah, I do like this movie a lot. It's really good. But this new one, I didn't really have that many expectations for it. I just kind of wanted to have fun and enjoy it and have a good time. I just wanted a good night out with my family because that's who I saw this movie with. And my thoughts on Tim Burton. I grew up with some of his movies and I enjoyed them for the aesthetic. I was like, okay, cool. I haven't seen all of them. Like, I haven't seen fucking Edward Scissorhands or fucking Sleepy Hollow, but I've seen a decent amount. I've seen like Nightmare for. Well, he didn't direct that. Bad example. But Corpse Bride is all right. Alice in Wonderland is pretty good until they start fucking breakdancing at the end. And but he's made some not great movies too, like Dumbo. That was fucking trash. I didn't really know what to expect with this movie, and I watched it and I had fun. I thought this movie was good. I had a good time with it. I think it's worth seeing for sure. I think if you're a fan of the first one, then you'll probably enjoy this one. I don't know if you'll think it's better, but you'll have a good time, I've seen some people that were kind of on the first one that really like this new one, which is cool. But, I'm just saying if you like the first one, you're probably going to enjoy this one. I can't imagine loving the first one and then just hating this one. You know what I mean? So, and if you really hate the first Beetlejuice, you're probably not going to like this one. But I think if you like the first Beetlejuice, like you're like, oh, I like it, but it's not a classic to me, I'd say still check this one out. I think you'll have a good time with it. For me personally, it's not as good as the first one, but I still had a good time. Uh, some of the issues first. This movie's kind of a mess. The first one has like a pretty straightforward plot, even though there's a lot going on. I remember the first time I watched the movie, I'm like, man, this is kind of convoluted. There's a lot going on. But the second time I watched it, I'm like, oh no, it's actually a pretty straightforward story. Two people get married, they die, they become ghosts, they live in a house, people move into that house, they don't want them in the house, they want to scare them away. That's the fucking plot. It's pretty fucking simple. So, this movie, it doesn't have a straightforward plot. It has plots, plural. Like, there's so much going on in this movie. Like, you have Jenna Ortega's character, who has this romance with this boy, and then you have Lydia Dietz, who's trying to form a connection, with her daughter, and is also having to deal with her fiance who wants to get married. And then you have Catherine O'Hara, Delia Dietz, who's doing her own thing. And then you have Beetlejuice, who wants to get back to the outside world. And then you have Beetlejuice's wife, who wants to kill Beetlejuice. And then you have Willem Dafoe, who's a ghost cop, who's doing his own thing. And then you have the fact that Jenna Ortega's dad is dead, and she misses him. And it's like, Jesus Christ. It really felt like, because this movie came so much later after Beetlejuice 1, they were like, they were so nervous that they wanted to pack so much into it because they were scared of disappointing people, so they wanted this to feel big. So they have so much going on. And it can feel kind of messy and overwhelming at times. There were times during the movie where I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, why does this character want to do this? You know? And I think for me, some of the plots I liked more than others. Like, Catherine O'Hara, I think, is hilarious in this movie. She's an easy standout. She is so funny. The stuff she does in the movie is kind of separate from everybody else, but she is so good. And I think my least favorite stuff was with Jenna Ortega's character. I love Jenna Ortega. She's great. It's just that her character, like, that whole storyline, I'm like, man, this is... It's like a romance thing with this boy, and I'm like, alright, this is just kind of here to, appeal to, like, teenagers, fucking, and that's fine. But, it's not why I go to see a Beetlejuice movie. Fucking... yeah. So I don't know. Fuck, I'm so fucking ugly. Anyways. Oh my god, do you fucking see that? Whoa. Anyways. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Jenna Ortega and fucking Winona Ryder. But that stuff out of the way, I think what makes this movie work as well as it does is the fact that you can tell everybody that made this movie had a great time. Like, every actor looks like they're having a blast. Willem Dafoe's character, you can take him out of the movie and really nothing would change, but he looks like he's having a good time. You like seeing Willem Dafoe have a good time. Who doesn't like seeing that? You know what I mean? So you have a good time watching him. You know what I mean? And I thought Winona Ryder was great in this movie. And again, she looks like she's having a great time. And they made the Lydia Dietz character really interesting. Not that she wasn't in the first one, but they made her feel real. And they made her feel like a real person. I like that. She's still a little goofy, but I liked it. I fucking liked it, Oh, man. And then Beetlejuice in this one, he has more screen time in this one than the first one. Or at least it feels like he does. And he's still great. He's less rapey. But he's still really great in this movie. He's less of a villain. He's more of like a kooky, chaotic neutral in this one. But, yeah, no. I really enjoyed it. You can tell Michael Keaton's older. Beetlejuice is... Like, you can just tell he's older by watching him. You're like, yeah, time has passed. But it was never, like, detracting or anything. It was just, like, you definitely notice it. I will say the one storyline in this movie that is kind of pointless was Monica Bellucci. She plays Beetlejuice's ex-wife, and she wants to suck Beetlejuice's soul, I guess. And she spends the whole... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but by the time her storyline wraps up, I was kind of like, oh, that was it? Like, you could have cut that out of the movie, and not a lot would have been lost. And then I look it up afterwards, like, oh, Monica Bellucci's dating Tim Burton. That's why she's in the movie. You know what, man? Fair enough. If I was dating Monica Bellucci, I would also put her into my movie for no reason. I get it. But yeah, and yeah, the cast of this movie is just great. Justin Theroux's really funny. Jenna Ortega, even though her subplot was probably my least favorite, and her character isn't like the most well-written character ever. It's kind of typical for legacy sequels. It's like, oh, this character has a kid, but they're rebellious. Just like how they were in the first movie. It's like, okay. But she was good, and I like her little arc that she has with her mom, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. But this movie is what I wanted it to be. It was kooky, and it was zany, and it was fun, and it was funny. And the humor, I was never like dying laughing, but it works. I will say, in this movie, there's 2 F-bombs, but the second one, they censor it, and the first one is uncensored. And I'm like, the second F-bomb was funnier, so I was like, why didn't you just have that one, and then just like cut out the first one? Because the second one is bleep, so it's just not as funny. It would have had more impact if you took that first F-bomb out, and then uncensored the second one. It doesn't matter, but my favorite scene in the movie, there's a musical number near the end, kind of like the Deo scene in the first one. Some people thought it went on a little long. I just enjoyed it because I liked the song, and it was fun and creative. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I did. I had a good time. I think the only reason that I have to dock off points from it is just the fact that the script is kind of a mess. There's so much going on. There's so many plot lines. And the last 3 minutes of the movie are kind of weird. I think they're meant to set up a sequel, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how people will feel about it. I was okay with it. I thought it was pretty funny for the movie to end like that. But, I mean, I guess we'll see what people think. I guess this movie made a lot of money, so maybe they'll make a Beetlejuice. I would love for this franchise to go on forever, so we get to like Beetlejuice 10, and it's called Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, I love the first Beetlejuice, and even though this one, I like the first one a lot more than this one, I still enjoyed this one. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10, but that's like just because I feel like it's the most appropriate rating to give this movie. I enjoyed this movie more than some 7 out of 10s I've given this year, honestly. I had a great time, and I'm glad that they kept the Tim Burton aesthetic, and there was a lot of practical effects. At least they look practical. I'm so glad that I saw a Letterboxd review that said, "Thank God Beetlejuice 1 was not released in 2008, because then that fucking sandworm would have been this ugly CG abomination like the Jabberwocky in Alice in Wonderland." And yeah, you're right. That would have been fucking horrible. So I'm glad this movie wasn't too CG heavy. At least it didn't look it. Maybe it was, and I'm just a fucking idiot. But yeah, in the end, this is a good movie. It's good. It's a good fucking movie. The cast is just great. Go see it. Have fun. This is the kind of movie where it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this movie's immune to criticism, but it's like, it's made for people, it's made for a certain group of people, and that certain group of people's gonna love it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's kind of pointless for, like, somebody who doesn't like Beetlejuice to be like, oh, this movie sucked. It was horrible. It was not, this wasn't cinema. This wasn't writing. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, just, you either like it or you don't. Just fucking go there and have a good time. Anyways. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Beetlejuice. Yeah. Winona Ryder, my girl. She's great. Can't wait for Stranger Things 5. And Jenna Ortega, can't wait for Wednesday Season 2. And Michael Keaton, can't wait for Morbius 2 with Vulture.